We have plenty of change going on in Tulsa Hills, but they like the area like it is.
Councilor Jeannie Q is pushing for a moratorium on the project. She wants to see Planet Tulsa's small area plans take shape first.
I see the need for apartment complexes, but there's also a need for residents not to have multifamily projects on top of each other.
Sarah Goldenberg, 2 News, works for you.
Sarah, thanks. An application has been submitted to INCOG for review. Councilor Q plans to hold a meeting for residents sometime next week.
Tonight, a vigil for the 7-year-old boy who was hit and killed by a car while he was walking to school. Dozens of people from around Tulsa returned to the spot where Elijah Rivers died. New tonight, 2 News reporter Dan Perlman spoke with the boy's parents.
Well, the crowd from the vigil has actually already cleared out from here, but I want you to look right over here and you can see this memorial, which just keeps growing and growing and growing. After tonight, I can tell you that Elijah's memory will live for a very long time.
He was a vibrant young man at 7 years old. He loved to play sports. He loved to play music. He loved playing on the drums, the keyboard. He loved church.
The words of a mother, the support from family, friends, and complete strangers.
He touched a lot of people's lives. And it breaks my heart that God took him so soon.
This candlelight vigil for a 7-year-old boy, a 7-year-old who in death could bring change.
We will prosper, we will overcome, and we will stick together.
And today, I'll walk beside him.
During the vigil, candles lit the otherwise dark night, the same darkness Elijah was walking in. Already, talks with the city to change that have begun, all to make this area safer.
I just hope that the things that were talked about actually go into action. I don't want to see another kid hurt.
That's the plan for the future, one that right now has more questions than answers.
He made me proud these 7 years that I had him.
Life without my son, I can't even imagine, so I don't know.
Now, the people who live here do say that they want to see more lights installed. If they get them, they say they will call them Elijah's Lights. Live in North Tulsa, Dan Perlman, 2 News, works for you.
Dan, thanks. We're following new information out of Washington County tonight. 20-year-old Brandon Capps remains behind bars after a judge set his bond at $1 million today. He's accused of brutally killing his own grandmother in Bartlesville. New police documents show that Capps confessed to beating 81-year-old Clara Jean Hammer with a baseball bat, then stealing her jewelry and car. Police later saw him in the car. That's when they arrested him. He's due in court tomorrow. Well, there are new developments in the case involving a man who police say had part of a woman's ear in his pocket. Prosecutors charged this man, Joseph Hall, with 8 counts, including kidnapping, maiming, and assault and battery. Tulsa police arrested him last Friday. Officers say that the mother of Hall's child had a broken ribs, a collapsed lung, and bite marks on her body. Also, she was held against her will.
Today, Oklahoma became the latest state to legalize open carry. 141,000 Oklahomans already have a license to carry a concealed firearm. They can now use that same license to carry their weapons out in the open, loaded or unloaded, as long as they're in a holster or belt. One Oklahoma agency is profiting off the new law. The Oklahoma State Bureau of Investigation approves the license for gun owners. New permits range from $100 to $200. OSBI uses the money to keep staffing levels up and to replace aging equipment. You'll find a link to the OSBI's application website on KJRH.com.
Well, after a warm, sunny day, a few changes are on the way to Green Country. Here's our chief meteorologist, Dan Threlkeld, with all the details. Dan?
Here's a time lapse from our airport, and you can see during the day today a lot of sunshine, just a few high, thin clouds, and it looks like we're going to have a quiet evening as well across Green Country. How about those temperatures? You know, we made 80 degrees in Okmulgee and Bristow, Tulsa, and Bartlesville. Even warmer when you go down towards McAllister. The temperature made 82. Is that a record? No, the record is 89, hit on this date back in the early 1900s, but it's certainly not normal. It's 13 degrees warmer than what we often see. Channel 2's very own Carol Palmer snapped this picture right at sundown. A great shot over the river, looking good there. Coming up in the weather, there's a lot to talk about. 80-degree weather returns across parts of Green Country. but there's also some changes in store. See, there's a front that's up to our north, and that will have an impact on your weekend forecast. Plus, we're going to look ahead to next Tuesday, a day when most of the weather will be quiet. We'll let you know what the weather's going to be like on Election Day. That's coming up in minutes.
Thank you, Dan. Millions of people still don't have power along the Atlantic coast, and fatigue and frustrations are growing tonight. There are major bumps on the road to recovery from Hurricane Sandy. NBC reporter Jay Gray has more from hard-hit Toms River, New Jersey.
Troops and heavy equipment continue to move into the strike zone.
We're in the triage and attack phase now of the storm.
The tattered road to recovery littered with debris and the splintered and twisted remnants of so many lives before the storm.
Every single person on this block lost everything.
Crews are clearing away what they can. Supplies and support are pouring in, but there's simply not enough to meet the overwhelming need here.
This is not something that's going to be over for a long, long time.
Though there are now some signs of help and hope. Charging stations provide survivors with a lifeline. And the subway in New York is slowly coming back online as officials race to get ready for the famed marathon this weekend, though some are frustrated, saying it's too soon after Sandy and a waste of valuable resources.
The city of New York right now is talking about getting water out of the Battery Tunnel and preparing for a marathon. We're pulling bodies out of water. You see the disconnect here?
In some of the hardest hit communities like Seaside Heights, just over this bridge, the water may be gone, but with residents still locked out, the anger is clearly rising.
Why is it unsafe there and nowhere else? Talk to the press. Talk to the rest of the homeowners
The gas
that are sitting
mains.
home.
It's the gas mains we're scared of. That's what we got the gas company over trying to shut the gas mains off. I don't care about a house. I'd rather care about your life.
Millions of lives forever changed by Sandy. Jay Gray, NBC News, Toms River, New Jersey.
A group of Oklahoma volunteers is headed east to feed evacuees of Hurricane Sandy. 20 volunteers from Oklahoma Southern Baptist Relief left this morning. They're bound for New York. Those volunteers will be feeding 15,000 people a day. 3 teams of chainsaw operators from Southern Baptist Relief are still waiting to be called up to help, and that could happen as soon as Monday.
New tonight in Democracy 2012, Oklahoma voter registration sees a big leap before Tuesday's election. New numbers from the state election board show that last month alone, nearly 47,000 new voters signed up to cast their ballot. In all, there will be more than 114,000 new voters this year. Most say they're Republicans, but Democrats still have the most registered voters in the Sooner State. Among active registered voters, 45% are Democrats, 44% are Republicans, 11% say they're independents. Well, many students at Jenks High School aren't old enough to vote, so the school held a mock election today. Members of the Young Republicans and Young Democrats set up voting booths. They hope that students will become more active and interested in politics. 2 News is expanding our election coverage on election night, which is coming up this next Tuesday. We'll begin at 6 o'clock on our digital channel 2.2 and on KJRH.com. Watch for live reports, a panel of political experts, and of course the very latest results.
Happening now in the Brady District, El Dia de los Muertos. It's Tulsa's annual Day of the Dead Arts Festival put on by Living Arts of Tulsa. The event is a creative way for people to honor their ancestors and pay homage to those who passed on. And it gives attendees the chance to decorate sugar skulls and burn letters written to the deceased.
It's a very cathartic thing to remember those who passed on, and it's also a very important thing to have a celebration of life.
The event concludes with a skeleton parade and fire dancers.
Next, vehicle pop quiz.
I would guess the one down on the end.
My only guess would be this Scion right here.
Car buyers try to spot the car hiding a dangerous secret.
It's the cars that you don't know if the repairs were done properly that can really cause you problems in the future.
How to avoid buying a lemon on the lot.
The fire danger will be going up, and coming up at Works For You weather, I'll let you know when cooler air moves into green country.
Works For You, protecting your home from burglars. Know how to outwit them and keep your valuables safe. Burglars beware. Friday at 10 on 2 Works For You.
Brad Henry, a Democratic governor. James Dunn, a Republican nominee for Attorney General. They don't always agree, but they agree on this. We should keep politics out of the Oklahoma Supreme Court. Both Democrats and Republicans support retaining Justices Edmondson, Carter, Gurich, and Combs. Fair and impartial justices. Decisions guided by the law and the Constitution, not politics. That's the Oklahoma way. Vote yes for Oklahoma's justices.
And just look at the vision of the building. I mean, the focus is on the product that's in each store.
I think you could definitely spend a day at Center One because there are so many unique things to do here.
People at Center One and Abersons, we have the same vision. We believe in bringing the best to Tulsa.
Surprised by how hard it is to find youth furniture? At Mathis Brothers, we not only carry it, we have a lot of it, and choices in every category. Toddlers, teens, young men and women, even furniture that grows with your kids so you can save even more. College furniture, futons, you bet, and choices fitting every budget. When you visit the only place that guarantees to discount the price by double the difference if you find it advertised for less, Mathis Brothers.
Ah, the compact car wannabes. There have been a lot of them launched over the years, and most of them have fallen a bit short. Because, try as they might, they just can't outlast the legendary Toyota Corolla. In fact, 80% of Corollas sold in the last 20 years are still on the road today. Right now, get $1,500 customer cash or 0% APR for 60 months on the 2012 Toyota Corolla. See your local Toyota dealer.
Lawyer Rob Wallace wages a negative campaign attacking Markwayne Mullin. The record Wallace wants to hide? 14 years on the government payroll as a career lawyer and politician after failing in business. 9 companies suspended by the state of Oklahoma for failure to pay taxes. And Wallace supports Barack Obama's socialist agenda, refusing to repeal Obamacare. Conservative businessman Markwayne Mullin creates jobs and will fight Obama's agenda every day.
I'm Markwayne Mullin, and I approve this message.
Right now in segment 2, we're putting your car buying skills to the test. If all you do is take a test drive or just look under the hood, you could be setting yourself up for a lot of trouble. Millions of wrecked vehicles are fixed up and put back on the market. 2 News consumer reporter John Matarese shows you why it can be difficult to spot a rebuilt wreck so you don't waste your money.
In the market for a used car, these days most used cars on dealer lots look as good as new cars, but underneath, some of them are hiding a dangerous secret. They've been wrecked, then repaired and repainted. Could you tell the difference?
3 used cars for sale, all of them less than 4 years old and all under 50,000 miles. But one of them is a rebuilt wreck.
All right.
Maurice Hampton and Mike Brush were among a bunch of midday shoppers who agreed to take part in our Carfax Challenge set up by the car buying service. They inspected the 2 Jeeps and a Scion, trying to pick which one had been badly damaged.
This thing was out. This was outside the body at some point.
They both picked the silver Jeep.
So which car do you think is the wreck?
I think this is the wreck, honestly.
The car guys agreed the Jeep was too shiny.
I think it's this one also. Just the general level, I mean, the components all look relatively new.
But guess what? They were wrong. Kathleen and Sam Turner also agreed to take our challenge. This mom also felt the silver Jeep was too clean and must have been wrecked.
I would guess the one down on the end just because it is so pristine and so new looking. If they're all about the same model year, then that's my guess.
But she was wrong too. Only Daniel Welling had a different feeling.
My only guess would be this Scion right here.
Really?
Only because of the frame on this rim right there.
His clue, a scraped wheel rim.
Somebody must have curbed it.
He was right.
Was hitting the front and side and rear. So the whole side of the vehicle's been painted.
Car dealer Zach Sweeney says half the black Scion was straightened and repainted.
See that line right there?
It took his dealer's expert eye to spot the line where masking tape trimmed off a paint job. Chris Basso says it's all detailed in the Scion's Carfax report.
Carfax will tell you that this car was in a reported accident The vehicle was damaged all on the left side. It was taken to a repair facility and fixed up.
But without a report, Basso says most people would never know it.
It's the cars that you don't know the history, you don't know if the repairs were done properly, that can really cause you problems in the future.
And you might pay top dollar for a rebuilt wreck like this.
Guessing whether a car has been wrecked is fun as long as you're not buying the car. If you're making a $10,000 or $20,000 purchase, have a mechanic look it over and get a background report so you don't waste your money. I'm John Matarese.
John, thanks. You can see more of John's money-saving stories on our website. Just head over to kjrh.com and click on the Money tab.
Burglars are a very real threat to your home and belongings, and we're helping you safeguard your home and family. Learn the best ways to avoid a break-in and the worst things we all do that make it easy for someone to grab belongings and run. Watch our segment 2, Burglars Beware, tomorrow night at 10 on 2 News. Green Country kids are turning their Halloween candy into cash. Several dentists are taking part in a candy buyback program. They're paying $1 a pound, up to $5. That candy will be put in care packages and then sent off to troops overseas.
I think there's too much candy anyway for Halloween. They usually have an excess. It's not really healthy to eat all that candy. Obviously, it's not good for your teeth or just in general. So it's kind of a good way for them to then also kind of learn the lesson of giving something up and then eating healthier at the same time.
For a complete list of participating dentists, head to our website, kjrh.com.
2 Works For You weather, certified most accurate.
Don't get too used to these temperatures. I know today was fantastic with temperatures in the upper 70s, but there are some weather changes coming. That's a time lapse from Webster High School, and you can see a lot of clear skies late in the day, just a few cirrus clouds. There they are, and those clouds will be around overnight tonight and into tomorrow. I do want to show you some good news. Look at the tree and the grass pollen. It's nowhere to be found. The weed pollen has jumped up a little bit from yesterday, reported as moderate, but there's not much in the way of mold spores. So after we see a freeze, generally we see this much lower than what we had in March and April. 59 with a calm wind out there, and those temperatures have been steadily falling. By morning, we're going to wake up with some upper 50s. We'll drop about another 10 degrees by early tomorrow morning, and those calm winds will not be calm tomorrow afternoon. They'll increase quite a bit, especially after 2 or 3 in the afternoon. In response to energy out to the west that'll be moving in, the fire danger will be increasing as well. Here's the temperatures, 50s and low 60s. But Bartlesville has dropped off quite a bit, 46 degrees there. Muskogee at 57 degrees, and there's those high, thin clouds. They look a little thicker than what they actually are. They'll do little to help insulate us and keep the temperatures up overnight for tonight. But for tomorrow, look for mostly sunny skies with some passing high, thin clouds. Here's a storm system that we're looking at out to the west. It is still organizing. This thing will move in. Right now, it's not real impressive. You look out further out to the west, there's another system out there. So they are lined up about every 3 to 4 days. We'll see these come through during the fall. And again, at times we get some colder air in here, we would see a more dramatic change, and we do see something happening 8, 9 days out. Still a long way off, but the next couple of fronts that move through will just drop the temperatures down 10, maybe 12 degrees, and that's about it. That's the Futurecast. That's at 5 p.m. for tomorrow, so it's looking great out there for high school football. And then as we get into Saturday, again, that front moves through, but there's not enough low-level moisture, so I'm going to keep the forecast dry at this time. If we could get a little bit more moisture in here, we'd add some rain chances to McAllister and down towards Poteau, but right now it looks even dry there. 40s and low 50s expected. Bartlesville, you'll be one of the cooler readings with 43 degrees coming up for Friday morning in Muskogee at 49. For Bartlesville, 85, the forecast high with some passing high thin clouds. At 5 and 6 o'clock tomorrow, I'll be out at the football game there. Looking forward to meeting you, and again, should be fantastic weather in Bartlesville. Temperature in Okmulgee will make 85 and Pryor at 84. Coffeyville will make 85 degrees. Here's the forecast, and you can see that cool down coming up for Saturday. We'll have a north wind, 10 to 15. 68 degrees, that's not bad at all. 65 for Sunday, and then for Monday another front moves through, but again, lack of moisture. Tuesday is election day. It looks fantastic. We do warm up by Wednesday and Thursday with temperatures returning back into the 70s. Now guys, let me ask you if you remember this picture. Look on the left. That was a year ago. That's my only granddaughter, Ruby Ann, and she was not happy to be in that pumpkin. Now, Fast forward a year later. Where does the time go? And that's Miss Ruby. She's happy. She's not sitting in a pumpkin. And she had a great Halloween. So again, had to show you that. Does it seem like that was a year ago that I showed you that picture?
And with kids, you really notice it too.
Just like that. It's amazing.
Congratulations, Greg.
Hey, still happy.
Also, congratulations in order for Blake Shelton, the CMA